Wow. I am cracking up. It's so funny. No, I don't mean cracking up as in like going crazy cracking up, like a crackpot cracking up. No, I don't mean that kind of cracking up. When I say cracking up, I mean like, haha, I'm laughing like, whoa, wow. And as I just look outside right now, I'm going to see if you guys can see this. Just bringing my computer out. I don't know. I don't know that you can see it at all. We can kind of see the blue skies up there and then the white here, right? But they are literally doing in the military airspace chemtrails. That is chemtrails. Now, I know some of you who want to pretend like you know a lot about engineering and, I don't know, quantum, this and that and whatever. You guys, I know you just haven't seen it yet. You have to have eyes to see and ears to hear when the truth is right here in front of your eyes. And you still think that comes from the engine of the airplane is making condensation in the sky and making those lines. I'm sorry, but I have some news for you. They are spraying the chattel, paper chattel, aluminum, barium, strontium, and all that. And they're doing it to make a cloud covering, whether they're using their radio waves, which you can see clearly when it looks like a panini up there, you know, like stripes up in the clouds that form from water that does come up, yes. You know, because the sun is up here and the water's down here and it's coming up and it's getting caught in that area. It kind of reminds me of doing hair. And I'm going to tell you some things. I never knew I had I kind of knew I had wavy hair, but when it's windy and stuff, my hair gets really straight, but I can really get it curly if I use certain products. Literally use certain products on the hair. What it does is it traps the water that's in the hair. If there's water in the hair, if I don't have water in the hair, then I'm not trapping any water in the hair. I'm just saying. But it's a weird thing to me that this material, and this is material, it's a fiber, our hair is dead. The only part that's alive is on the inside of the scalp where there's the root bulb. At least that's what we've been taught in beauty college. The root bulb, where there's blood and, you know, oils and there's a root, a bulb. It's kind of like a plant. And then you got the excess part. And that's why when you cut the hair, it doesn't hurt when you cut it. If you pulled it, it's going to hurt because here. But this really pertains to that. The chemtrails, when the planes, it's caused by planes. It's not a natural occurrence. I see the planes doing it. And I know that they have their plane retrofitted or outfitted to spray that chaff because I've seen it. You can go on geoengineeringwatch.org or .com. They have pictures there. Now that guy thinks that we live on a globe, and that's not true either. And I'm telling you that I'm having an epiphany type of a moment right now, just from watching Christopher Hauser, because he was explaining these 1040Vs. And I have on my channel, what is a 1040V? And I'm reading it all like a good little girl and following all the directions. And I'm thinking, okay, well, this says pay to the order of the IRS. And I'm flashing back when I'm watching Christopher Hauser on his 1099 OID 1040V and 1096 video that he has. And I'm thinking, I know that he has dyslexia, so he might be switching things around. I know on one of the, 1099 or 1096 form that he has, if you read box 6 right here, it says only check one box, can't check 2. But then somewhere else, right here on box 3, it says how many forms, and he will mix the two, like the OID and the 1099A, and he'll put 2 forms and check 2 boxes, but that's not what this directions say. If you look at box 6 right here, it literally tells you only check 1 box per form. So if you have, a 1099A, this is just a photocopy as a template. If you have a 1099A, you're only supposed to use 1 form for that. And then when you have the 1099 OID, you would get another one of these. That means you're going to have to order 2 of these, because 1 for each form. That's just how they do it. So anyways, I already know that he's got the dyslexia thing, but I'm cracking up and I'm thinking, this is just how God would do it. God would use somebody that turns things around like that to save everybody, to show everybody something that's totally out of our mind, that we're not even thinking, because we're not realizing that this is negotiable instruments. This is money right here. All this time, we're all thinking that the Federal Reserve notes is money, but it's not. I hate it when I forget to turn off my phone. Sorry. All this time, we have all been indoctrinated and inculcated that this is money, this is cash, this is, but it's not. It's kind of like a paper towel. Here you go. This is money. Here you go. This is $100 right here. Wow. And I'm thinking about myself, and I want you to think about yourself too. What is it in your life that you maybe didn't think that God could use you? Because maybe you were born a bastard, or maybe you had a terrible upbringing, or you were neglected or abused, or you were having multiple relationships and they all failed, or what is it about your life that you think that God can't use you? Because I'm just saying, yeah. I don't know. When I was little, I, had an event happen to me when I was younger, and people didn't believe me. And then I also felt like I didn't have any right to say anything, because I think I was socialized to just be quiet, don't say anything. Don't talk. And even then when I got married, my husband would say, you're always bringing up stuff. And when we go to my mom's house, don't say a whole lot. Don't, antagonize anybody, or, because I don't know, I'm thinking I'm holding people accountable. If they're going to be in ministry or something, then maybe, they should be accountable, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I was just always suppressed, oppressed. And I think that it kind of caused me to, I don't know, just not talk. And then when I decided to go to school, I was hearing a lot of things that they're teaching at the public school, the colleges and the university. And I thought, No, that's not right. That's wrong. They're wrong. They're teaching wrong. Jesus was not 40 years old. No, how could he when he died when he was 33? So no, that's wrong. And then you're telling me that we live on a globe that's spinning at 1,030 miles an hour. Have you ever done laundry and looked in the spin cycle? If that washing machine is only going 30 miles an hour or whatever it is, and all the water and the clothes are stuck to the sides, and you're saying to me that the globe is spinning at 1,030 miles per hour, 1,030 miles. And if we have winds after they do these stupid chemtrails, because once they sprinkle their little pixie dust up there, it looks horrible. There's lines everywhere up there. It makes it really windy because why? Because they use the radio waves, and there's some type of ionosphere going on up there, kind of like how the ocean has movement in the ocean too. Up there, there's an ionosphere. They've got the stratosphere and all the different things. I've taken 2 courses in astronomy. And oh my gosh, do they twist up the people's minds? I mean, they did tell us that they changed the calendar to the Gregorian calendar and then added a day and then added an extra day every 4 years, you know, that leap year thing. So this is the thing, is that our ancestors, they knew how to tell the time and the seasons from looking at the sun and the moon for telling a day and a night and counting. And then the stars, those are the ones that are moving. That is the circle of the earth. Circuit, chug, look it up in Blue Letter Bible. Put in that address bar up there. I don't want to do it because I've done it before. I'm telling you guys, chug is circuit. Circuit of the earth is in the heavens. It's in the sky. It tells you that right there. Where is it located? In the heavens. So it's not the shape of earth, and you have to get that globe. Where is this thing? Hang on a second. Can I get it? No, I can't. Hang on a second. Let me show you something. I have this here. This is a total toy cartoon. You have to get this picture out of your head because this does not match that. Look out your window. Look outside right now. Look down. There's dirt. Look up. There's no dirt whatsoever. So this is a total impossibility. You cannot have, here's the United States on this curvature of so-called Earth lie. Canada would be up there. We'd be able to see Canada and it would be dirt up there. This is full of hot air because I blew into it. It's a balloon. This is fake. This is a toy. And this is a construct by who? The Jesuits? Possibly. The Freemasons? Them too. Jesuits and Freemasons. Probably part of the same thing. I'm just saying, wow. So I really want you to think about everything that we know in our head, everything that we maybe read that's construct of man-made stuff. We read it and then we go, we want to follow the rules. But then we don't realize that these are also it's a piece of paper made out of a tree. You know, I'm just saying, black ink could be graphene for all we know. I don't know. I haven't tried that experiment. Dissolve this in water and see if that ink is graphene. Who knows? Don't look at that one video about the pills that people take and it has black letters on your pills. they are dissolving it in water, and then they put a magnet, and that ink is graphene. Bad. So think about that. If you have any black writing on any of your pills, that's graphene. But what I'm trying to say, I think, and I just want to let you know a little bit about me. I think because of childhood trauma and then other traumas just being in life, it's not always been easy for me to remember things. Sometimes I'll forget and I'll get this thing called dysregulation. And I learned that from this crappy childhood fairy that my friend Linda told me about. She's on YouTube. And I always wondered, how come there's days when I'm feeling okay and then there's days when I'm not? There's days when it's really windy, I'll start getting a sore throat or start coughing. My brain feels like it's dehydrated and I can't think properly. I thought it had to do with the weather or maybe hormones. I don't know. But I have a feeling that each one of us has different things like that that can happen to us. Like if somebody says something to you and it kind of triggers you and you remember something, you know, you get triggered. It's like a trauma trigger. It almost makes you can't remember stuff. Like it's almost like your brain is trying to piece back something that happened in the past or whatever. Or maybe it's the Lord allowing us, as we're adults now, for anything that's been tucked away in the closet, time to clean out the closet by analyzing, how did something get inside of your thinking? Why do we believe a certain thing when we can look at the facts? For instance, the letter J is an English letter. It's only been around for like the 1600s, the 1500s at the most. So what do you got? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're in the year 2022. I mean, you know, what, 8? I don't know. Is that 800 years? I guess. Is it 8 centuries? I don't know. See, there you go. I'm just saying, if it's only been 400 years old that or so that the letter J has been around, then we know that there's this thing called transliteration from other languages, you know, because English is only, hello, since what? What, the 1300s, the 1400s? I don't know. It hasn't been around that long, English. And so the letter J has not been around for long. So if Christ was about 2,000 years ago, he was not called by a J name. No, he wasn't. It would have been like an I or a Y or an E. I call him Yahusha. Some people call him Yeshua. Salvation. The thing is that how do we believe people, pastors or teachers or anybody? How do we believe anything that they have to say if it's not backed up by facts or truth or evidence? I mean, come on. A lot of you people probably watch TV or you like to watch movies and you like to figure out the ending and you can kind of see the little clues. Oh, this is what's going to happen. They're going to hook up or this or that. And you already know the whole ending, right? And you figure it out. Let's figure out some things here. Hello. Why do they teach the masses in the public schools and the private schools too? Why are they teaching them theories that are theories and not the fact? Because there's an agenda, okay? It does go back to our enemy that we can't see, Satan or Antichrist, teaching us wrong, feeding us poisons, like I was saying in some of those medicines, that they have graphene or graphite, black ink that's metallic, that's magnetized. Get a magnet. Check all the stuff that has the black on it. Like, I mean, I don't have a magnet around here, but test everything. Test everything. Everybody, every time somebody's talking, even me, even you, where did we learn what we learned? Because we might have learned it by watching a video or seeing someone else do something, but hey, that doesn't always work out really well. Like when I was a little girl at Kmart, I remember my mom and I were leaving, checking out, and there was a little girl. She had put her hand in the candy, you know, where they put the quarter and then they get candy. She put her hand in there to try to grab a toy or candy, whatever. And, you know, like that monkey that won't let go, she got her hand stuck. And they had to get the fire department there. And at the Kmart that we had, they had a butter. They had a grocery store, so they had put butter all over her hand. And they were able to get her hand out. And, you know, I'm a little girl myself. I don't know if I was 7 or what, but she just did that. And I go, oh, well, let me try that too. And I go, oh no, I got my hand stuck too. Luckily they need to put the butter. So just because someone else is doing it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for us. And you don't want to end up in jail or prison or nothing like that. But you want to make sure that you're, you know, not harming anybody and that you're walking properly, right? And staying in the house. Like staying in the Father's house means to be in good character and to be analyzing yourself and walking in the truth, right? Yeah, that's what it means. It doesn't mean to be acting any way that you want, thinking you could cuss and smoke and have sexual interactions with people that you're not in a covenant with. Get real. Going from one to another, to another, to another. That's called sexual immorality. And that's even called, what they call, that's monogamous. You might be monogamous, meaning staying with one person, but you do serial monogamy, one right after the other. That's sexual immorality. You don't have a covenant. You're not staying with that person. And if any of you guys don't like what I'm saying, then you can just get off the channel, because I'm going to tell you the truth, because I care about you. I'm not going to lie to you like a lot of the pastors are lying to you, saying you could do whatever you want. Jesus died. Oh, by the way, his name is Jesus with a J. And you could do whatever you want because he died for all the sins in the world. And there's no more sin in the world. I'm like, no, there's a lot of sin in the world. People are sinning. And you know why? Because they're in your church and you're teaching them false stuff. Yeah. And what are we, Lord of the Flies? Did you guys ever see that movie with the kids and they landed on some island and airplane and the big kids were teaching the little kids and they were abusive, teaching them stuff? And we're not Lord of the Flies here, people. And that's Beelzebub. If you want to grow up and be perfect, you have to be mature, because in the Hebrew, the understanding of perfect means mature. You have to grow up. And, you know, eventually we're all going to get the white hairs, which will make us a crown of glory. And they'll be like, hey, that's the person we need to ask. We need to ask that person because they've lived longer than us and they should know. And that's, you know, in a perfect world, that would be the case. But there's a lot of people who have gray hair and they cover it with tint and you wouldn't know. But then you wouldn't know from their life that they're mature, because they're just abusive and they're wretches and they are filthy rags. Just like some people have said, we're filthy rags. No, our righteousness, meaning us without the Lord, without the truth, is as filthy rags. But we are called to have right understanding. Put on your robe, put on your clothing of right understanding, because when you don't have the right understanding, you're naked and you should be ashamed. Not that being naked means to be ashamed, but if you're out there with no clothes on in the public in front of everybody, it's just not an acceptable thing unless you're in a nudist colony, and we're not going to go there. But the fact of the matter is that I am just kind of rejoicing in how our trials and tribulations make us who we are today. And we can learn from our mistakes and others' mistakes. We can. And we can choose to be cowards, or we can be brave. We can choose to be immature and have arrested development and not ever grow up. Or we can choose to be mature and grow up and be perfect as He is perfect, because that is a command. But I did want to go over some of those things because, whoa, I didn't realize that this is just one way of doing something, having a voucher or having this information. We can make our own. Make our own vouchers that show a remittance receipt. We can make our own negotiable instruments. It's even in the codes and the statutes, which we, the living people, didn't swear an oath to protect. Oh, and by the way, that was a weird thing. What was it? The CFPB. What does that stand for? I can't remember what it stands for. I called them the other day. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Yes. And I did make a complaint about my bank when I had my house. And they are going to send a letter to the bank for me. Instead of me having to do 3 certified, registered, whatever, mail things to the CFO of my bank, they're going to do it for me. And the question I had was, did anyone put a 1099-A on my name? And did box number 5 get checked to say I didn't have to pay it back? Because if that's the case, I let the lady know. Her name was AngEl, by the way. And I'll put the phone number so all you guys can call AngEl to see if they did that with your house and the bank stole all your credits. And because we did not know to file a 1099-A to get our credits back, which basically means the full amount of the house, and we didn't have to pay it. We didn't have to pay for that house because all debts are paid. And they know that, the banks, the corporations, they know that all debts are paid by the United States and Congress. And they went through the back end, grabbed that money that we were the ones that signed our name, and we were the energy that began that negotiable instrument or that contract and that money, and they tricked us into signing up for a loan to pay the bank back with interest. But the bank went behind us and they grabbed the credits and they got paid twice, double dipping. So I did call, and we'll see what happens. If what they call it, plausible deniability, they'll be like, oh no, it's good. You're good. We're good. No, like, hide it. And that's what I've been noticing lately. Everybody I've been asking for accountability and they're not wanting to admit it. I make a mark. I mark them because they're in denial and they're lying to themselves and they're lying to others. Whether it's your pastor or something your pastor said a long time ago or gave you legal advice, take your brother to court, that's against the Bible. We're not supposed to be doing that. And if the Bible is their you know, what is it called? Mission statement or guidelines for how they're supposed to operate. If anybody claims to be a Christian or Hebrew or spiritual or whatever, you got to have something as your higher source or your, you know, roadmap. If you're not following what that says and you're claiming to be a follower, then and you're operating wrongly, you need to check yourself. So this is just a warning to everybody right now. Don't lie to yourself. And if any of us who claim to be with the Father or a daughter of the King or a son or what have you, if you see any one of us having infirmities and not knowing what we're supposed to be doing or doing the wrong thing, that's part of your job as part of the family to confront and do it in a way of love, of course, because who likes to be embarrassed? No, nobody likes to be embarrassed. You do it in a way that you'd want to be confronted, right? Right. But anyways, I'm going to end this. I'm just talking. I just thought it was kind of interesting that I had like a little light bulb go off. I'm like going, whoa. All this time we've been following all the stuff that we've been indoctrinated into thinking that this is what we're supposed to do, blah, blah, blah. But there's other ways. And now is the time to be Apocalypto. That means the lifting of the veil. You know, like a bride who's got a veil and she can see a little bit. Can I see who's behind that veil? I don't know who am I marrying here. And you, Apocalypto means the lifting of the veil where you can see clearly. I can see clearly now, except for those chemtrails. So when somebody already knows the truth and you try to bring your veil, put this back on, you're not going to be my friend for very, very much longer, because don't try to talk me out of something I already know. And that's how you guys all should be. Why is it that you would be still hanging around the same friends who they don't listen to what you say? They don't have boundaries. They cross your boundaries all the time. You know, whether they do sexual harassment or try to borrow money from you all the time, or tear you down or call you some type of conspiracy theorist or whatever. Why are you casting all your pearls before the swine so they can trample you underfoot? That is when you finally have to cut those ties and say, bye, see ya later. And that hopefully will be when they come around, they go, oh, I see. You were right. We don't live on a spinning globe. We don't chase the sun. We didn't land on the moon because the moon is a light. Those are chemtrails. It's not condensation. And karma is calling me so we can go for our little walk. Should I put some covering over me? I don't want to get that chaff in my hair and in my olfactory system. But anyways, I'm just, I don't know, sharing. Have a good day.